Just yesterday, Next.js announced version 12, and it was even more impressive than Apple's new MacBook announcements, which is pretty mind-blowing considering it's just a free JavaScript framework. They're setting the bar really high for what a full-stack JavaScript framework is expected to do. Like, it now ships with a Rust compiler instead of JavaScript to give you 5x faster builds. You don't need to know Rust, it just makes Next faster under the hood by replacing Babel, which is important because big, complex apps tend to have slow build times. And I've already updated my full Next.js course to use version 12, and I'm seeing significantly faster refresh and build times. That's pretty amazing, but it's not even close to being the coolest feature in this release. Let's take a look at all the new features in Next 12, and more importantly, why you would want to use them. If you're new here, like and subscribe, and if you want to get really good at Next, consider enrolling in my full course. Grab a discount in the description. The first feature I want to look at is middleware. Middleware is not a new concept. Frameworks like Express.js use middleware to intercept an HTTP request and process it in some way before it goes to your actual route handler. With something like Next.js though, things are a little more complicated. On one hand, you want your website to be really fast, and the best way to make that happen is to cache pre-built HTML pages on a CDN. But when you do that, you lose the ability to make your pages dynamic. So on the other end of the spectrum, you have server-side rendering that uses a node server to fetch data from a database or API when the incoming request comes in, but that is slow and inefficient. In a perfect world though, developers would have both speed and dynamic content at the same time. And Next is really leading the way to make that happen. Vercel, the company behind Next, has a product called Edge Functions. These are serverless functions like AWS Lambda or Google Cloud Functions, except they're deployed to the edge like a CDN, so your end users get extremely fast execution with no cold starts. Now here's where middleware comes in. In your project, create a file called _middleware in the pages directory. From inside it, you can export a function called middleware. This function will give you access to the incoming request and allow you to modify it, and it will run before rendering takes place for every page in the pages directory. You can also scope the middleware to subdirectories if you only want it to run on a subset of pages. What's awesome about middleware is that it makes your code way more efficient. For example, I may need to verify a user authentication credential on every page. If the user's logged in, we might want to retrieve some data from a database, otherwise redirect to the login page. Instead of importing that logic into every page, I can now just define it in the middleware, and it will run on every page automatically. But as an added bonus, when you go to deploy, the middleware is hosted on Vercel Edge Functions. Instead of having one centralized node server, your backend code is deployed to the edge where it's very close to the end user, and therefore much faster. That's great for Vercel, but if you're worried about vendor lock-in, it provides a standard build output that you can deploy to any platform. It's just going to take a lot more work to configure. Now let's move on to the next big feature in Next 12, support for React concurrent mode like Suspense. If you're not familiar with Suspense, it's basically a component that allows you to wait for asynchronous data before rendering its children. As of today, it's still experimental in React, but is still used in production on some websites like Facebook. However, if you try to use it in Next, it results in errors because it doesn't play well on the server. In Next 12, you can opt into experimental concurrent features to get these features working with server-side rendering. It also supports React Lazy to dynamically import ES modules, which can reduce the size of your client-side JavaScript bundle. Now this next feature might be the one that I'm most excited about, React Server Components. Server Components allow you to natively render HTML from a React component on the server. What's crazy about it though is that it uses HTTP streaming to progressively render a web page on the server. That means if you need data for one component and then another component after that, you don't have to wait for one after the other. It'll render the first one, then the next one, then the next one after that, which really opens up a whole new world of possibilities when it comes to designing full-stack web applications.
With server components, you can stream HTML from an edge function immediately and progressively show updates as your data comes in.
And next, you can change a page or file name to .server.js to tell the framework that it's a server component. When this component is rendered, it requires 0 client-side JavaScript. That means fewer kilobytes for the end user to download. In addition, you can fetch data directly inside the component without having to use functions like get static props or get server-side props. It's a really ergonomic way to build an application. You use React patterns from start to finish or server to client. Now you'll likely want some interactive JavaScript for the client, so you can also import regular client components as well, and they'll be rendered universally both on the server and the client. The combination of server components and middleware looks like a really awesome way to build an app. I'm actually considering redesigning the entire Fireship site with these latest features. If you guys want to see that as a series here on YouTube, make sure to let me know in the comments. To wrap things up, there's one more cool feature you'll want to know about. You can now import modules using URLs instead of NPM. This works for JavaScript modules that you would import from a CDN, but you can also use remote URLs in your CSS or to import images directly into your JavaScript code. Overall, Next.js version 12 is a total beast. Make sure you're subscribed for more updates, and if you're a pro member, stay tuned for more updates to the full course. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.